administrative section. Can I have a motion?
I'll move.
Carol made the motion, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Kerr. Okay, good.
Okay, item A, school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus shelters for athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings, and have completed volunteer orientation. Item B is contract with Chuck Huss to provide orientation, ability evaluation, and/or training for identified students for the 2015-2016 school year, according to the terms of the agreement, see the attachment, funded through special education.
Questions? No questions or comments? Call for question on all, yes vote on administrative.
Yes.
All yes, okay. Finance, can I have a motion?
I'll move.
Second. Motion, Larry seconds. Birdie.
Okay, item A, scheduled invoices totaling $177,946.91. The invoices are available for public inspection at the county office.
Questions on the financial items? If not, then all yes vote?
Yes.
Okay. All right, personnel, can motion please? Fred made the motion, second by Ralph. Bill.
Okay, item A, employment of professional personnel. Number 2 under item A, effective date should be September the 8th. That's when that person could get out of their contract to come to.
Is that Ms. Davis?
Ms. Davis, September the 8th would be the effective date.
Okay.
Item B, employment of substitute service personnel, which is making Tina and everyone else happy. We've been short a lot of service. Item C, employment of substitute service personnel pending completion of certification requirements. D, employment of extracurricular personnel. E, retirements and resignations. And F, leave of absence.
Is there still a need for substitute service people?
Yes,
In
we, in fact,
categories?
yesterday, we was short a cook.
I mean, are you still taking applications in all
Yes,
the
we're still
areas?
taking applications.
In all areas, okay.
Yes.
All right. Anybody have any other questions about personnel items? Okay, if not, then is that an all yes on personnel?
Yes.
All yes. Okay, Bill, any updates in
Well, I
personnel that you
gave
want to
you a
mention?
handout of where we are currently. Unfortunately, we had a father and his son-in-law who was driving from Grayson to the high school teaching special ed. Everything was fine. Friday, they come in and said the drive's just too far, and they resigned. And they're from out of Kentucky, so we couldn't hold them to their contract.
And what did they teach?
Special ed.
Both of them?
Both of them are special ed, and one of them will be a hard position to fill because it's a behavior disorder classroom.
Why can't we hold them to a contract?
Out of state.
Out of state.
Only if they want to move somewhere within the state to teach.
We could prevent it from working somewhere else in the state, but not in the state.
In education law, so, nothing such as breach of contract damages?
There's no.
I think I didn't even ask Leslie about that. We didn't draft our employment contracts.
But some good news was at West Hamlin, we had a 4th grade overage. And we thought we was going to have to hire a teacher, but after looking at the numbers, they had 4 first grades with only 16 in them. So we distributed those kids to where each one of them has about 22, so one of them may have 23. And that teacher was moved to the 4th grade, so we did not have to hire a teacher there. So
West
that
Ham will
was-
be one of those schools with one of the largest decrease in enrollment, and particularly in first grade, they were down 22 students.
It's for what they were projecting.
So it freed up a teacher, so we're not gonna have to hire another teacher. West Ham.
Okay. Anything else, Bill, that on? About personnel this time? All right, let's go then to the general comments and concerns. Ms. Mickey.
Why don't you post it now?
All right, we'll see how he's got.
I know I sent you an email, but I just wanted to, in case you may have missed that, the state superintendent, Dr. Martirano's visit has been canceled for tomorrow. He had a death in his family. It was his father-in-law who passed away. So he's not going to be able to be with us. The department has contacted me today, and they've given me 2 tentative dates to look at. So we're going to try to reschedule that either on October the 20th or November the 5th. But I will get you that information once that's nailed down, in case you want to stop by and visit him while he's here. Enrollment numbers, I've given those to you already. I just wanted to say that they're improving. Preschool students are back this week. We saw a little bump in our numbers as a result, having more preschool students than what we had anticipated having, as a matter of fact, which is a good thing. But we're still overall down 119 students right now from our projections, looking back to the end of the school year last year. So the numbers won't be final until the second month report, which will be the end of September. We'll have final numbers at that time. So hopefully as students continue to kind of trickle in, those who've been on vacations or maybe have moved over the summer, maybe moving back, we'll see these numbers continue to improve. One thing Mr. Pritchard, Kevin Pritchard, our attendance director, mentioned to us the other day in the cabinet meeting was our homeschool numbers are up. We've added 20 students already this year, parents who are going to keep their children at home. And that's a phenomenon that's going on across the country as well.
And those kids still have to be tested at one of our schools.
They don't have to. There's another option. They can have a teacher, a certified teacher, sign off that they've completed the work necessary.
At one time, they had to come and take the test at our state rank.
But that's no longer their only option. It's the easiest way for them to.
They can graduate.
They can, well, yeah, and now the legislature and the governor has signed into law an option that the parent or guardian can handwrite a diploma for the homeschooled student. I mean, this is brand new. It went into effect June the 12th.
This diploma, who's it issued by? Them?
By the parent or guardian.
John Smith says you graduated.
Yes, we're still kind of scratching our heads over it,
They recognize it at all colleges.
but all higher ed
In West Virginia.
Any kid's bad.
in West Virginia recognize
They
this.
need those two.
Now, they can have other entrance qualifications and criteria, but as far as the diploma is concerned, that would serve as their high school diploma.
Well, now, can a parent teach your child at the same grade level that they went to, or how's that
They
handled?
removed that. There's no requirement.
You mean,
Oh, my.
somebody dropped out of school and,
Yes.
Issue a diploma.
Yes.
They can issue a diploma.
yeah,
We have the most lenient homeschool regulations in the country, is what I've continued to
I
hear.
can believe that.
Maybe reasonably increased.
Let's see, and this is a draft, what I'm gonna hand you.
Sean, if you publish that, we'll lose every student.
Yeah, we wanna keep that quiet.
Yeah.
On the homeschool, we got a handle on what age they seem to be a homeschool, is it grade school?
It's across all
It's
grades.
across all
It
levels.
is, and all areas in the county as well. It's not really confined to the area. So we continue to see those numbers increase. What I've just handed you, and this is a draft, Rod was working on adding some additional names to this list, but these are people who have been contacted and have agreed to serve on the Athletic Facilities Committee. If you have anyone, which I know Christy Carroll, we were contacting her today to get with her to add her to the list. I feel certain that she'd want to serve in that capacity, but any suggestions you have, anyone out there?
There was a man called me last week, of all people calling me. He's W.R. Hamlin, played with Marshall in the 60s, set certain records for the football team.
A quarterback.
Yeah,
County.
attorney, I believe.
Yeah.
He's attorney, retired attorney. He's very anxious to help Coach Christian in some way. So I gave him Coach Christian's
Hamlin.
contact numbers. But he's familiar with the program and its struggles, and everything else, but wants to help in some way, so he sounded very enthusiastic and
He would be good.
informed,
Yes, I know him.
whether for this or for just generally.
He was a North quarterback. in
64, 68, yeah.
Mid-sixties. Before my time.
I suppose they say it's before I was hatched.
Well, I know him later on, he was a lead group.
And then, wasn't there someone that spoke here, Mr. Hoffman?
T.G. Hoffman he's an addition to this. I spoke to him this morning. He wants to serve on this committee.
Okay.
So he's been added. And there may be some others that
And
who
any
are not on
members of
here
the board would have an interest,
who would like to serve on the committee
very
as
well.
well, are invited.
Are none of these people are from the Hearts area?
No, I don't think so.
Probably the answer would be closest.
But now, anyone that would have an interest, they just need to, there's someone there, right?
Yes.
I know if anybody wants to.
Let me know.
If we're down 100 students, say, let's say, what would be our total loss, which would be year after next, right?
Yeah. I don't know, but I've got some formulas in my office that I could run and I'll email you guys and let you know.
Roughly, you told us the last meeting about 5,000 per student,
Mhm,
right?
mhm. Yeah, but then there's like, positions that go with number of students. Like if you lose 25 students, it's equivalent to a professional position and a service position. So that's what I'll.
So we lose funding for those positions as well as funding for the students. Okay.
And we may not lose those positions. I mean, we may not be able to eliminate some of them. Because it may be,
We'll have to
Right,
eliminate
just depending on
somewhere.
where the losses are, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking at that already.
Yeah.
Are already starting to study, get ready for personnel.
By the middle of December, we'll have our preliminary numbers, so we'll know in December how bad it's gonna hit us.
Now, will it hit us this current year or
Yeah, next year, next
Okay,
year.
next year.
Funding's always a year behind.
But this
So-
coming spring, we'll have to deal with any of those
Yeah.
that are being affected.
Yeah.
So then what happens if next year we get this preliminary enrollment, we're up 100 students? There's-
Then we can add some positions.
But we wouldn't get additional funding for it until following
Right,
calendar year.
following, right.
So we have to add positions and no way to do it. So we're contractually bound to keep all the positions we have this year with the decrease in, well, but we have the money for this year, okay. Right.
It's process.
We were up 50 students last year, correct?
Yes.
50, could possibly be down 100 this year.
And if you look, there's a handout here that tells you the enrollment, and it's down by school.
Kind of all over.
Well, we're down 35 students to high school, 40 or 39 at West Hamlin.
Yes, big hit.
Wow. 20, well, roughly 18 at Hearts, 28 at Hamlin.
Everybody except Ranger?
Well, no, I think
Rangers,
with- Duval actually had.
Midway, Duval.
Duval did well, Midway did well. And does anybody else see a correlation between enrollment and the, I'm not gonna say anything, should I?
Well,
I want to look at
it's
it.
kind of been anticipated, I guess, for a long time that maybe the Midway area would gradually increase, maybe it's starting to happen.
And
Go ahead, sir.
one more.
All you
I
want.
spoke to School Building Authority rep, Ben Ashley this morning, and we've scheduled a visit on September the 16th. He's gonna be meeting me and Dana Smith at Midway Elementary, because he's not been through that building, so he wants to tour Midway Elementary. And we're gonna take a look at Frida's Lane, that property, and some other sites over in that area that may be potential locations for a new school. If time permits, we're also gonna visit West Hamlin Elementary, because he's not been on site there. When I spoke to him today, he's been studying his maps, the information he has, and he thinks there's two locations for him that are viable locations for the addition to West Hamlin Elementary School. One being the one that I described last week, which would be take up the parking lot area between the building and the road, that would mirror the long wing that leads down to the tennis courts. And the other location that he proposed today is where the playground's located. So between the school and the McComas property, in that area, he thinks would be a good location.
But you have access road that runs through the middle of that.
Right. Do either one of those require more property?
He's left that open as a possibility, that regardless of the location, that there may be a need to purchase some additional land there.
Well, the only place to purchase additional land would be toward the dairy. And presumably on from the high water mark to the road, so you have to go to the dairy, because otherwise you're over the septic, what's it called, the sewer pond.
So I'll keep you updated on what's going on there as we move forward and continue to study the options that are available for projects initially for next fall.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, Carol?
On the facilities list, is that a typo on Rhonda Kersey's phone number? It's got area code 434. Is that?
That's her cell phone. Yeah.
It could be an Elstree.
Yeah, I think that she came to us from Virginia, so
Oh,
it may still
okay.
be the area code. I'm just guessing.
It may be, I think.
Rod put this together, and that's why I've noticed he given Brian Chris to kind of elevated him to Brian Christ. I was wondering. I told him we need to make some
Right,
revisions.
with that deal, we're gonna need all the help we can get. Wishful thinking. Anything else? Anybody else have anything, Larry? Okay, just a reminder, board members, at our next meeting on September the 3rd, we're gonna prepare the goals for the superintendent. So all of those thoughts you had last year when we were doing that we ought to add this next year and this year, let's try to come prepared. Now Brenda has sent out two lists to us. One, it's like everything under the sun, goals for the superintendent by category, and there's just oodles of those. And then the other was the one that we used last year. So, you know, if you're, maybe you could go, if there's one of interest that was in one of those categories, you might say, well, we ought to add this. But anyway, if everybody, to expedite things, if we kind of thought about that we will do that next time.
This is on Thursday night, right?
Yes. No, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fred, don't you forget this.
Next Thursday.
Will there be regular business that night as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Thursday, September the 3rd, at 6 o'clock, right? You're in Hamlin, man. Make sure we do everything right. Okay, nothing further, take a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Carol made a motion, second by
Well, we're
Mr. W. All yes?
Yes.